Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades Stocks on Sunday, coming to you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today, the title of the show is Nobody Will See This Coming. We're also going to do a stocks checkup. We're going to evaluate how we are going from the buys that I gave at and near the bottom there, and a whole bunch more. Before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments, of course, that you take the time to write, and I take the time to read it. Now, I know the show's a little bit later coming out today. I do apologize for that, but for those who have waited, you shall be rewarded. So first of all, just look, I like this great little nobody will see this coming. And there's an analogy between 2011 and 2012 and now in the US stock market. And as you can see, this fractal that they are looking does look very similar to what happened in 2011 and 2012, and that would lead us to, well, is there going to be a drop here like there was before takeoff, a drop and then off and running? So I'm not putting too much weight on this, but I do think it's very interesting. It does look very similar, of course, but I think if you look back in time in the past, you probably find some kind of a fractal that's going to match what's happening at the moment in 2011, 2012. Now, does that mean that the bottom is in or not? Well, based on this, there is a hint that maybe they don't think that the bottom is in. Well, this is why they say nobody will see it coming. One further drop and then off a little bit more and then off and running. And so obviously this is what happened in 2011 and 2012. So no one will see this coming, a dump, and then one more shakeout before the breakout, okay? But also it was quite interesting to see this from David Rosenberg. We're living through history. Only 0.25% of the time in the past century has the S&P 500 managed to rise 9 consecutive days, a 1 in 400 chance. But here's the deal, 80% of the time this dynamic happened in recessionary environments, not to mention just ahead of the October 1987 crash. Maybe this bullish manic move isn't so bullish after all. So I'm going to make a couple of comments about that. And I'm going to say, comment that I'm going to make, number one, is that those of you who didn't buy the latest dip missed out. But secondly, that doesn't mean a bigger dip isn't coming. But it doesn't mean that you should have missed out on all this incredible money that you could have made if you'd bought this dip. And if you take profits at the right place before it sells off and goes down into a bigger dip, then you just will have more money to buy the bigger dip. And buying the fear and selling the greed. We've got to get away from only buying after it's already pumped and then selling in fear when it dumps. It's like buy the fear. I was scared when I bought these plays and when I shared them numerous times on my stock shows here, but also every day in my Discord as I bought the fear and bought these dips. And you can see here as we go to, and as they say, the proof is in the pudding. And this is why I had this here. So nobody can ever refute these great levels that I gave. And so Apple, these are the yellow lows that I gave here on YouTube and in the Discord and the Tribal Trades Discord. And you can see that based off the lows and the most recent highs that they've made, these were the percentages. Apple 18%, Amazon 14%, Coinbase 44%, Google, you can see their hood powerful, 61%, MicroStrategy 55%. There, NVIDIA, 26%, Palantir, one of my best, 86%, Tesla, 36%, TSM. Now, I didn't buy all of these right at the bottom, by the way. Some of them went a little lower than these buys that I have here, okay? Some of them went just a little bit lower, and I didn't get them at them. And I'm not counting that. I only got MicroStrategy at like $260. I didn't get it down I did actually. I got it 235, then I sold it, and then it came back down, and I got it again a second time. And so I didn't get all these right at the bottom. I didn't get Apple right at the very bottom there, because those who try and pick bottoms get smelly fingers, okay? And there are some smelly fingered influencers out there that are giving you the wrong data, the wrong influence, and you missed out on buying the dip. Now, if you'd put $1,000 into each of these, and I called these yellow areas buys for me, you would have around about a $4,000 return on investment. That would have been off your $12,000. Look, if you'd put $1,200 in there, just $1,200, $100 across all these coins, you would have paid for the Discord for an entire year. You would have made about just over $400 there. So just showing you that buying at the right moments, listening to the right people, following the right people who have a proven track record. Now, I shared with you that I sold all of my stocks apart from Tesla in January before everything crashed down. I sold literally very close to the top. Now, remember, I originally got in Meta around $80 odd, and I sold it at $700. That one I held on a long time. And so, but it was difficult, but I sold the whole lot. It went up a little bit higher. So again, I am not trying to time the exact top, but I feel like I have a very good analytical, sound, technical analysis to get out at or near the top and get back in at or near the bottom. And I've done that consistently both in crypto and in stocks, okay? And we can see it here. And I will share again when I am selling my stocks and getting out of them, and I will look to sell all of them. Maybe I'll keep Tesla again. I did take profits on Tesla. I didn't feel like I wanted to sell all of it there. Okay, so there you go. And I think these stocks that I picked are strong picks. They are the leader in each of their categories. They are pretty much close to, if not a monopoly in their area, and we have seen monopolies really rule and reign in the stock market. The Russell is getting an absolute hammering as people are pouring more and more into these blue chip, high market cap stocks there. So there you go. I haven't picked up a couple of these, so I didn't include that. I didn't manage to pick up Shopify or Walmart. I just missed out on those buys. But I'm waiting and looking for an opportunity to possibly jump into one, if not both of those stocks there, okay? So that's where we have in regards to that. So just make sure that if you want to have daily access to me, I'm in the Tribal Trades Discord. And these are where I share all of my plays. You can see all my stocks plays that are here Monday through Friday. I have my crypto plays. You've got the wonderful wins section where everybody is putting their wins there. Vanilla Ice Baby, great 80% win there. Absolutely fantastic. And some good money on that. And then Nikola Tesla, as always, even I believe he's on vacation, absolutely crushing it on vacation. 6 for 6, a quick $100 up and down the snipes there just in the day. Izzy, again, Rod there. Donut back in the game. The Thunder from Down Under, Donut, some great trades there. Maddox, Donut again, Izzy again, Donut. So these guys are absolutely, Tim getting in on the action there. Julie with some great trading there. And so look, all the wins stack up, more than pays for the price of a Discord for the month, which is less than a cup of coffee a day, for goodness sakes. And those are all the trades that are given in there. And we have a leverage lounge, of course. And look, my goal is always, as always, is to provide a very, very balanced trading portfolio. And so the leverage lounge is great, and most of it is for scalping, quick trades in and out. And that may not suit everybody, but we also, some of the leverage trades can be longer swing trades. You use a little bit of leverage, or you can just go spot. And that's the medium-term trading strategy, and also have the longer-term trading strategy as well. So no matter what walk of life you're on, I think it's important to have that 3-portfolio strategy, or at least the 2-portfolio strategy. You could have a scalp and a swing, and a long-term investment bag. So you've got the short, medium, and long, but you could also maybe just have a scalp and a swing, or maybe you just have a swing and a long. And so you have the long-term trading strategy and you have swing, which is more the medium-term strategy where you can get in a trade, sit in it for a couple of days, even a couple of weeks, sometimes a little bit longer if it keeps running, of course. Why get out of it if the train keeps going? Let's say on the train. Remember, the trend is your friend until the end, and then we start a new trend, of course. And you can see that the SPY has absolutely been doing so great. I feel so sad for just these influencers have been online pushing people the narrative that the bottom is not in and we're going lower, and they missed out on these incredible gains from 480 up to $568. Absolutely incredible. I see a little bit of a line in the sand here. We do need to get across the 200-day moving average at 573 and this area here, which is 576, to make this higher high to get above this candle of 576. So I do want to see 577. That pushes us, of course, right into the 100-day moving average there, sitting at 578. Now, look, we could get stuck here, and a couple of things may happen. One, we could have a pullback, and all the doom and gloom is going to come back, but we may just be setting ourselves up for a higher low. And as long as we don't lose that 508 level, we can come down quite a good bit of distance here. We've already come down and tagged and found support at the 20 EMA there at about sitting at about 546 at the moment. But we could, of course, come all the way down the 100 EMA on the weekly, create a higher low, and then create a higher high. Of course, we could come down and create a lower low, and that would be a break-in structure and would lead us to then possibly come back up, create a lower high, which might be our place to exit, and then capitulate down. And so that's another option there. 468 would be where I expected this move to get there, but we didn't get there. So that was a little bit of a surprise that we didn't. And I did, I loaded up, but really I was really waiting here to back up the truck, and we just didn't get there. So we may come and find a lower low here. We may not, and we have to live with the fact that news may break that China and the tariff deal is done and it's off and running and we're all good and the SPY can push. And I do think that if we get back up over that 577 or 578, then that would be extremely bullish for the SPY, and that would lead me more to the probability that we come back up and we test that all-time high and make a new all-time high. And that was just a bit of a black swan event brought about by the tariff news there. I will be watching the stochastic RSI, and if you haven't seen my challenge there, watch my video from last Sunday. I am keeping track of that in the Tribal Trades cheat sheet there. I have the stock RSI challenge there, RSI strategy. That's what we have, the $10,000 buy on the SPY, $10,000 buy of Bitcoin. That's when we go on the trade. That's what we've gotten. Of course, these are already up significantly from when they were bought, when they were added. And of course, that's when you don't know, please watch 1 week ago on Sunday, the stock show on Sunday, please watch that video, getting a lot of great feedback from that. A lot of people who are now following and doing that strategy because it works, or it has worked historically, and it has worked so far because our buy here gave us a perfect entry signal. Now, if we see the blue cross below the red in between the shaded area, which is 20 and 80%, that would lead to an exit signal here. But however, it breaks through this upper line of 80% and then crosses below the red, that would not be an exit, even though it would be an exit in here. It would then also have to cross below the 80% line to be an exit, and this would be vice versa to the downside. And I do actually state the rules here. That was when we started this challenge, and so there's no sell signal or buy signal, so we're just going to stay in this trade, keep monitoring it as always, of course, and I think that will do it for today. Will be interesting to see how the stock market opens on Monday, had it in the pre-market there. I am not looking at adding any to my long-term portfolios because I already added to those at those levels that I showed, but I do show some swing and some scalp levels, of course, Monday to Friday, in the Discord. So if you're interested in trading those on a medium term or a short term trade, I give entries and take profits both to the upside or the downside if you're shorting. And of course, you're doing options. Some people use some of my levels for options trading with puts and calls as well to make money, and post those in the win section as well. The Discord link is in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button that will pop out there. The Tribal Trades Discord, one Discord to rule them all. And I'm also on the Stocks with Josh Discord as well. Love the Stocks with Josh fam. I have my own Crown Traders channel in there where I share educations, insights, some of my trade setups, resources, and of course entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And so until the next episode, or until I see you on the Discord, happy trading.